Islands of the Sun. Madeira. Sunshine and natural beauty spread over an area of 796 square kilometers. Thousands of tourists arrive daily, adding to the native population of 300,000. They come from far away to discover the unique beauty of this ocean pearl. Let's start our dream journey with a panoramic view of Funchal, the hotel which awaits us, combining peacefulness with the entertainment we all desire in our leisure time. Each hotel symbolizes comfort and the hospitality afforded to all visitors by the inhabitants of Madeira. These hotels, all of them up to the highest international standards, provide various activities for the visitor. What is more, they are to be found in a town where buildings and natural beauty combine to form a harmonious whole. In Madeira, the past and its traditions coexist with the tastes and preferences of the modern world. The casino is an example of this. It was constructed quite recently and offers all the entertainments of a modern casino. Chance to enjoy the sunshine and ever-present water. It's impossible to resist the swimming pools, impossible to resist diving in for a swim. Night lends a magic and mystery to Funchal. The ever-moving water in the fountain, a true reflection of nighttime in the old part of the town. Bailinho, a colorful and lively traditional dance which has survived the ravages of time.
Conhece a realidade, tenho prazer em ser vida da minha velha cidade. Sou feliz porque pertenço a este manancial, aonde o fado é mais fado, na velhice do Funchal.
Traditional restaurants allow us to enjoy wonderful food and watch the old eternal dances. Let's go back to Funchal in the daytime to continue our journey. The sea flows through the veins of all inhabitants of Madeira like their very lifeblood. The Funchal Marina is a pleasant area and naturally full of all sorts of boats, of all sizes and all types. The pavement cafes provide us with a welcome break. A drink will refresh us for the journey ahead. Funchal is a rich mixture of enchanting color. The islands are immensely rich in vegetation. Flowers and peaceful parks are constantly present. And to complete this dream picture, children. Remembering the distant past, statues, commemorative plaques. With each step, a moment of history, moments from the lives of men who played an important part in the history of these islands. If we want to know more about the vegetation of these islands, we'd better spend an afternoon at the botanical gardens. Soft or bright colors on delicate petals, unique species. All this awaits us at the botanical gardens.
Ninguém se preza de ter um cravo igual ao meu.
Quinta das Cruzes allows us to gaze on the historical richness of its collections of 16th century furniture, along with ceramics, ivory and silverware. The gardens surrounding the house contain a plethora of flowers, especially orchids.
Saber onde moro, eu moro ali além, numa casinha de palha, sozinho, mais minha mãe.
The silence of water, a fish peacefully watching the visitor with indifference. We are at the aquarium to find out a little more about the fish which live in the sea around us. Step by step along centuries-old streets, we continue our journey of dreams and sunshine. In the municipal square, we cannot miss the Museum of Religious Art, which houses one of the most beautiful collections of religious painting of the Flemish school. Although it is part of Portugal, Madeira is an autonomous region according to the Portuguese constitution. Here are the official local government buildings. Religion is constantly present in the lives of the inhabitants of Madeira. The cathedral, dating from the 16th century, is one of the most important churches on the island. Funchal is a lively city, where many small details illustrate its development and prosperity. We meet people with smiling faces, local people who love their land and tourists who are learning to love it. Trade is an important economic activity in this town. Madeira's handcraft is so beautiful we cannot help but admire it. The perfect and painstaking embroidery takes us away to the intimacy of linen touched by the artist's fingers. Of the earth is born succulent tropical fruit, which Madeira's microclimate encourages. Pawpaws, mangoes, bananas, pineapples, and others. The sea contains riches which the fishermen gather with sweat and tears. Like scabbard fish is one of the species native to the sea around Madeira. Flowers again. They give color and perfume to Funchal market and capture the gaze of all those shopping here. At the end of this trip around Funchal, let's look back at the parts we have already visited. Daylight removes the mystery of night, but reinforces the beauty of the old part of the town.
Quem me vê no dia a dia conhece a realidade. Tenho prazer em ser vida da minha velha cidade. Sou feliz porque pertenço a este manancial, aonde o fado é mais fado, na velhice do Funchal. Na zona velha sempre amanheço por ser farista, nela anoiteço com a guitarra bem a meu lado. Sou mais verdade cantando fado. Cada dia um poema, zona velha não ilude, apesar de...
Let's continue our journey. We have left the capital of the region and are now in Câmara de Lobos. In the town, the main activity for men is fishing, for this is one of the most important fishing areas in Madeira. The women dedicate themselves to embroidery. In any tavern, we may find Madeira's most typical drink, punch, a mixture of lemon, honey, and white cane liqueur. Punch is made by old-fashioned methods, and normally this strong and pleasant drink is kept for friends. The sea is ever present in Câmara de Lobos. The blue of the water and the colors of the boats are forever etched on our mind's eye. Estreito de Câmara de Lobos was founded in the 15th century and is thus the oldest settlement on the island. It is here, at this important center of banana and wine production, that some of the island's most famous vines are found. Each year in September, the Festival of the Grape Harvest is held, a true example of popular traditions and wisdom, which reminds us of worship of the god Bacchus. One of Madeira's traditional delicacies, barbecued kebabs. We are about to begin a difficult climb. Cabo Girão is at 633 meters, the second highest cliff in the world. At the top, a beautiful belvedere provides us with a magnificent panoramic view of the sea. Ribeira Brava. On the western side of the island, it is always included in tourist trips because of its landscape, the charm of its houses, its color, and its magnificent doorways.
Eu quero que a vida inteira, mas o teu é do receio. E quando vais para a montanha eu te passo meu banho. E quando vais para a montanha eu te passo meu banho.
Ponta do Sol, a peaceful and quiet seaside town. It was also the birthplace of the American writer John dos Passos and of many other anonymous emigrants.
Eu sou da Ponta do Sol, eu sou da Ponta do Sol, terra da minha paixão, terra da minha paixão.
Beautiful 18th century tiles cover the walls of the Church of the Holy Spirit.
É a terra dos balinhos, é a terra dos balinhos, que já vai de tradição, que já vai de tradição.
In Calheta, Mother Nature put man's ingenuity to the test. He managed to beat her by building terraces in order to farm the steep hills.
Eu é que estava a cantar. Apanhado pula, pula.
Ponta do Pargo brings us back to level ground, unusual on this our dream journey. It is the women who work the land here, mainly to produce fruit. The most important fruit here is the peru rajado, and an apple festival is held every September. Both folklore and traditional costume are different here from the rest of the island.
Morreu seu marido, dorme sozinha na cama, tem o seu sono perdido.
At Paul do Mar, what impresses us most are the beautiful waterfalls. Since it is also a fishing area, its isolation contributed to the fact that it is the area with the highest rate of emigration on the whole island. Paul da Serra. We are 1,500 meters above sea level. Up here, sheep farming is the most important activity. The weather on this part of the island is particularly hostile, which means that the area is sparsely populated. The shearing season attracts many visitors because it very quickly turns into one big party. Paul da Serra is a barren place and is an absolute must. As we continue the journey we began in Funchal, we reached the parish which is farthest away from the town. Porto Muniz is a very pleasant place and invites us to take a dip in its natural swimming pools. Porto Muniz has become prosperous through its livestock farming. Our eyes are delighted by the patchwork of farmland on the terraced hills. Boxed in its valley, with its eyes turned seawards, we find São Vicente. It is essentially a farming town where wine is produced. The waterfalls lull us with their timeless melody as we continue our journey on the island of the sun. Ponta Delgada. The action of nature on the bumpy hillside forms a charming picture in green and brown. Boa Ventura. Here we are reminded of the beauty of these islands. It's it's impossible to forget it in such a picturesque place as Boaventura. Farming is the main activity here too. On a dream journey with beautiful people, we also find dream houses surrounded by beautiful hydrangeas. We are in Santana. The typical thatch-roofed houses fit perfectly into the landscape. Santana is love at first sight. Ribeiro Frio. The trout farms are extremely important here. The fish we will later taste in one of the island's restaurants come from here. Vegetation is abundant. Many of the species found here cannot be found on any other part of the islands. We gaze fascinated, captivated by beauty. We have to pass through Portela to continue our journey. Here we are at Porto da Cruz. Nature takes on a different and strange face. The sea and the land, and Porto da Cruz nestling between them. Another landscape. Different colors awaits us at Canissal. It's a different shade of green we find here, and the sea contrasts with yellows and ochres. For many years, whale fishing was the main activity in this area. Ponta de São Lourenço is a spit of volcanic land jutting into the sea. We are in Machico, an important fishing town popular with tourists, a fertile valley stretching towards the sea. That's Machico. The sea almost invites us to practice water sports. Traditional fishing methods set the daily rhythm for the men of Madeira. Rough hands and nylon fishing line to guarantee survival. Midway between Machico and Funchal, we find Vila de Santa Cruz, with its international airport.
Venha assim pra beira-mar e venha assim pra beira-mar. Trago aqui estas cubinhas, trago aqui estas cubinhas, para amanhã cedo.
Once again, the swimming pools invite us to take a well-deserved rest. The parish church, built in 1507, illustrates the strong influence of religion on everyday life in Madeira. One can't say one knows Madeira without having been to Camacha. Basketwork, another typical Madeira art form, is yet another temptation for the visitor, whether he wishes to buy or simply appreciate the skill of those who weave and transform cane into intricate works of art.
No mundo és a primeira, no mundo és a primeira, aquela que gosto tanto e aquela que gosto tanto.
Restaurants in Camacha give us the chance to enjoy good food and the joy of dance and fine singing. Let's take a look at Madeira's traditional dance, the bailinho.
Maria, anda para rodar Maria, anda comigo cantar e anda comigo cantar. Maria balha com jeito, Maria balha.
Santo da Serra. The animals in this pleasant park invite the visitor to get closer to nature.
Cuidado quem triste nasce, cuidado quem triste nasce, para o mundo ser mulher e para o mundo ser mulher.
Let's continue our journey to Poiso.
É bonita perseguida, é bonita perseguida, é paia ninguém.
Now we are going to climb 1,796 meters to get to Pico do Arieiro, a spectacular landscape surrounded by the sea.
Não há mestre como o tempo, não há mestre como o tempo, para ensinar quem anda torto, para ensinar quem anda torto.
In the parish of Umonte, a highly original architectural site awaits us, Terreiro da Luta. The oldest buildings date from 1912, the most important one being the monument to Nossa Senhora da Paz, Our Lady of Peace. The next stop simply has to be the parish of Umonte. The church of Nossa Senhora do Monte, Our Lady of the Mountain, lends a mystical air to this place. In Umonte, a steep descent in a carrinho do Monte made of basketwork awaits us. These ingenious vehicles were first introduced in 1850. The coolness and the beautiful landscape of this mountainous area make it an absolute must for tourists. Less than an hour away, another island awaits us. All aboard for Porto Santo.
Oh, ilha do Porto Santo, da uva tão saborosa, o teu sol é um encanto, tua praia é mais formosa, e até zarco ao descobrir-te e ao pisar teu solo amigo. Fui quase como a pedir-te, fui quase como a pedir-te proteção e bom abrigo. Terra amiga, como tu.
We can travel to Porto Santo by airplane to discover other pearls on a tiny island with an area of less than 50 square kilometers.
Das joias de Portugal, Porto Santo, o nome te fica bem, por isso te quero tanto, como quero a minha mãe. Oh, linda ilha dourada, da água pura e sadia, da lua tão prateada, do sossego e da alegria, tens os teus velhos moinhos.
Simplicity is the key word in Porto Santo. What we all want now is some sunshine to be able to enjoy the 9-kilometer beach on the island.
E nos beirados os pombinhos arrulham canções de amor.
The average summer temperature of the water is 22 degrees centigrade. Let's walk barefoot along the beach and enjoy the touch of fine sand.
Essa joia mais antiga das joias de Portugal.
But Porto Santo and its people await us in all their simplicity, their kindness and pure sincerity.
O nome te fica bem, quero tanto.
This varied landscape, sometimes harmonious, at other times with sharp contrast, is a constant source of surprise to the visitor.
Porto Santo, o nome te fica bem, por isso te quero tanto, como quero a minha mãe.
Deixa passar esta nossa brincadeira, que hoje vamos bailar no bailinho da madeira. Deixa passar.
The end of our journey brings us back to Funchal.
Vamos bailar no bailinho da madeira.
Some local festivals have become internationally famous due to their quality. Carnival expresses the colorfulness, happiness, liveliness and joie de vivre of the local population. In Madeira, the flower festival is an absolute must. The species characteristic to the island are, of course, orchids, but many others fill the streets of Funchal with their scent and color. Madeira wine, one of the most famous in the world, justifies the festival of the grape harvest, another example of age-old traditions and rituals. Bottes chien, flat-heeled boots, are the traditional footwear for both men and women on the island. Everyday life is depicted in these little handmade wooden figures. The famous embroideries, the charm of an age-old art whose beauty and perfection leave us speechless. Every woman is an embroiderer, every piece of embroidery the history and hard work of a woman from Madeira. Madeira wine again. Only the soil and climate of these islands of the sun could produce such nectar.
Venha sim pra beira-mar, venha sim pra beira-mar.
At the end of our journey, Christmas. The Christmas lights give the streets even more color.
Trago aqui estas cubinhas, trago aqui estas cubinhas, para amanhã o seu jantar e para amanhã.
And so we come to our journey's end at the New Year celebrations. Madeira is a wonderful place to begin the final decade of the 20th century, or even the beginning of the next one.